No. What do you
Firecracker.
You are a firecracker. What do you think people have just still so wrong about like the lifestyle, the word mob, the wise guys, as Big Ang would say? Like, what do you think are all the misconceptions out there? There's so many movies made about it. We watch this show. Like, what do
That
you
it's a
think?
really glamorous, it's a glamorous life. It's not. The only thing glamorous are the fur coats and the diamonds and the good food and the music. There's nothing glamorous about that. Nothing glamorous about taking your kids on a prison visit. Nothing glamorous about the prison guard having to check all body parts. Nothing glamorous about going to court and being in the news for something negative. Nothing glamorous. It's still who I am, who I was born. I'm born my father's daughter. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have that choice, but I would not suggest or choose that for somebody. Yeah, definitely. No.
When did you realize? Because like it's your norm. Like I think it's similar. I always say it's similar, like your life in a sense to like being the child of a celebrity. Like at some point you realize what my parents do, my father in your situation is different than, most of the neighbors. Like, but it's your norm. But like when did you realize, like when you were young, like this isn't really what the neighbors do for a living?
So I always say, all the kids in the neighborhood, their fathers work 9 to 5 and mine worked 5 to 9. I knew I was different when I had a fur coat and a diamond nameplate at like 7. I didn't understand what my life was until I was about 16, 17. Then I kind of started to hear things and figure it out. And I'm like, I'm gonna run with this. It's worked for me. It's all I knew. My little sister, who's the producer and the creator, she went to NYU graduate 4.0, all that stuff. Polar opposites. I'm in front of the camera, she's behind the camera. Total opposites.
Were you ever scared like growing up, or was it the opposite? Was it like no one's gonna mess with me? I have access to everything. Or was it a little bit of
It
both?
was you weren't we didn't even my father never even for the we never had to feel scared. I didn't know what it was to feel scared because I had my father. So I didn't know scariness. Listen, I didn't see anything. Growing up, we read the newspapers. We knew people were getting killed. I didn't know my father was even involved at that particular point, but I knew something, but I didn't. How can I explain? So it was like, these battles with these different families that they have, whatever. So he didn't belong to that one. So I guess they were in trouble. That's the way we thought, I guess. But he never, work never came home and he never gave us a reason to feel scared.
And I'm just like hanging on every word. I find it very interesting. Why do you think like people are like me? Like there is this there's like Married to the Mob, The Godfather, a mob, like people are just can't get enough sometimes. Is
Because
it
it's taboo. It's like when people want to know, you want to experience something. You can't experience the mafia unless you come from it. Okay, because I mean, nowadays they let anybody in any door, but back in the day, it was like this secret society. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what secret society you belong to; it's still something that people are fascinated. Look at the way the people act over when you get the Illuminati. You know what I mean? It's a secret society and everybody wants to learn about it. But the mob had the fashion, the food, the women, the furs, the diamonds, like the cars. That's what they grew up on seeing it. You saw that. This other world that they speak of, that I read, like, because I'm into my hip hop and I'm like paying attention. I'm like, so what's this Illuminati thing? Is it a club? You know what I mean? And I read that and I'm fascinated with the ways they have to get into certain clubs. You know what I mean? But there has to be some truth to any story that people tell. You know what I mean? There has to. The boys' club. We know these clubs exist. You know what I mean? I just think the mob's club was probably the coolest.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
What about, because you are a grandma, you say grandma, I look at your Instagram and I see one picture, I see a shower being fogged up, I see another one. I mean, it didn't look like you had any underwear on. I mean, this is coming from a gay man and I was getting turned on. Have you ever thought of doing, have you ever thought of doing OnlyFans?
Okay, so those pictures were actually done like 2 years ago, but the one with the shower, the tattoo on my finger says that's what that was about. And that's something that was like my idea. I never felt sexy or pretty. I was bullied. So I was told I was ugly. I had a flat ass. I got my ass done. I got this, my ass and my nose. Those were done. Everything else is really mine. The boobs are mine. They've been reduced like 4 times now. They just keep growing. I think my boobs were my ass. So OnlyFans, no, 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 no. I think I'm 53. I want to be sexy. I want to be attractive still. Um, so that's why I did that. And I had lost a lot of weight too. I mean, but don't get me wrong. I'll say it right here live. I'm edited. I will always be an edited person. You have to edit me to begin with. You know what I mean? Um, but I like these apps that make your skin look so it's like dry. I'm an Italian. I'm a grease ball. I'm never matte on my face. You know what I mean? Like so, I'm looking at all these apps. I'm like, wow, these girls. And then I start doing it, and everybody's like, you overdid it. You overdid it. Take that one down. They're like, that is definitely not your ass. I'm like, well, most of it is. We just had to like round out a dimple or two. You know what I mean? But so what? If you feel good about yourself, do it. I'm
That's what
53. I don't have a stitch of makeup on today. Not a stitch of makeup on. I look good. So anybody that says, "Oh, she's so edited," okay, yeah, look, that's how edited I actually am.
I love people that come on without makeup. There's few and far between, but I love it.
I had said to Joe today, I was like, yesterday, I was like, Joe, is it okay? Like, I'm going to be really casual. I had left all my clothes back at my son's house. I was at the hotel. Listen, I had to do the walk of shame out of the hotel in my dress from last night. And they all looked at me and I looked like a hooker. And I was so embarrassed. I'm going, no, I had to work last night. Oh, no, not that type of work. I had an event. So I said, I got to do it without makeup. I had, done where they like burn all these little dots in my eyes to try to make like, all the wrinkles go away. So my eyes are still really healing. I'll send you a picture on the side. You'll be like, why would you let anybody ever see that? I had a bad reaction to it. It's never happened in the history of the company. My eyes like sealed shut. It was really bad.
Oh
But
my
it's
God.
only been a week. Um, it's maybe like 10 days. And I don't want to wear makeup.
Listen, there are days where I look at myself in the Zoom and I'm like, today's a good day. I'm happy with what I'm looking at. But I have days where I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh God, David, pull it together.
That was me yesterday while we were filming. I couldn't pull it together. I pulled up my girlfriend's daughter who does my makeup, and I was sitting on the floor in the shower, going, I can't pull it together. I can't do my makeup. I couldn't wash my hair. I was like, my hair is oily. She's like, just get here, and you'll see it like when it does it. I was a mess.
I think that's okay. Some days I'm just like, okay, I'm like feeling myself today. And other days I'm just like, man, like, oh, like, girl, pull your shit together. Like people are looking at you, like at least make an effort here.
Yeah, but
Me.
the effort
I
is
mean,
you show up. You
yeah.
show up. Oh, I know you weren't talking about me. I don't care
Okay.
if you were anyway. I'd be like, you know what? He absolutely
I'm like, I
show
just
up.
want to clarify. I was talking about myself, not you.
Right.